everybody. Hello, great day. If you are new to me, hello and welcome. My name is Jerisha Hawk. I am a high-ticket sales coach, and I help individuals like you turn the skills you already have into a high-ticket service that you sell consistently. So I really am the best person for those who already have an amazing skill set. You're already dope at what you do, but you are really good at the skill set, but you have no idea how to sell your services consistently, and especially also selling them at a high ticket price point. So we are here today. Oh gosh, I'm just feeling full and full a lot of love. I've been going through a lot of internal transformation right now. Hey everybody, hey. I will be answering some questions. So if you guys have any questions as we're going through the live stream today, pop them in the comments or ask your question over here in the comments on Instagram. Because I want to do a bit of Q&A if you guys have them. But I feel like the evolution of transcending to the next level just never stops. As I'm continuing to grow in my business, I'm all right, we're making progress. And then I realize there's just so much change is required to consistently grow. And that is something that, I don't know. I don't think I realized how much change was required and how rapidly the change is happening at this stage in my business. But I just wanted to kind of pull back the curtain a bit and chat with you guys about that, because some of you guys may be going through something similar. Okay. Kayla said, new to the game and starting to figure out everything. I've been listening to your podcast and all taking notes. You're awesome. Oh my gosh, you guys are so thank you. Tracy, hey Tracy. She said, I've never watched you on IG Live. Well, welcome to the show. Heather said, I signed up for your masterclass earlier. Oh, Heather, I'll make sure to follow up with you in the comments to make sure that you have everything situated for the masterclass, okay? After the live stream here. But let's go ahead and dive in. So one thing that I'm learning and realizing as I'm growing in my business is that, again, what got me here won't get me there. And what worked yesterday won't work today. And what I mean by that is it's not as I've been continuing to grow in my business, and I'm at a point now where we're doing multiple six figures a year. The thing that I'm realizing that what got me, and I did a episode on this earlier in this month, is all about, are you building a six-figure side hustle, or are you looking to build a business that is manageable and sustainable? So we started the conversation there. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, I recommend you go listen to that after this. But one thing I'm realizing that the business that I am building, I want this to be bigger than just Jerisha Hawk. I want the business that I'm building to be bigger than my identity and bigger than just who I am. I want it to be more than a lifestyle business. And what I mean by that is a lot of us, when you're in this online world, you have to think about what your exit strategy is. And this is a much more in-depth conversation. I want to bring my fiance on to talk about this because he's in wealth management and he's in he buys and sells companies for a living. He's in investing. But one thing in traditional world and traditional business, when people are creating businesses, they typically will create the business with an exit strategy in mind. And what I mean by that is when they are building their business, they're either building the business to sell it, and the whole growth strategy of that business is with the objective to be able to sell the company within 5 to 7 years, or they build the business to be generational or more of a lifestyle business that gets handed down. And I think a lot of us in this digital space, so many of us don't come equipped with this the business acumen that I think is really required as you start to step into higher levels of growing your business and higher levels of leadership as you're growing and developing your business. But that's something for us to start thinking about, right? What is your exit strategy? And even if you don't have a solid answer, if you have no idea, it's an interesting question for you as a CEO to revisit on a quarterly or yearly basis as you continue to grow. But many of us, when we're in this digital world and we're creating and selling services virtually, or we're creating content and curriculum, we're documenting our methodology, packaging it into a signature program or into an online course or what have you, many of us, our exit strategy is not to sell because we're building our business based on our personality. And even if you have a course, or if you have a business that the business name is not your own, you're still pretty much a personality, because people are buying you at the end of the day. And this is why I encourage individuals who enroll in services that sell, why it's so important where we continue to educate you on the beginning stages of how to document your methodology, because your documented methodology becomes an asset. And that asset may not be something that you can sell down the line, but it could be an asset that you can license. And that's a way for you to be able to really scale your business, a couple years out. But that's why having a documented methodology is so important, and why module 1 of services that sell is the foundation of a long-term sustainable and manageable business that you're building. But one thing that I'm realizing is I don't have intentions at this stage, or probably even in the next 5 to 7 years of my business, to sell by any means. I don't think that that's really an exit strategy for me. I think most people's exit strategy in this online world is make as much money as you possibly can make, where you can make as much money where you can actually pay yourself a high salary, and then you reinvest that profit of your business into other, you invest that profit of your business into different investments that can now be the thing that, covers your retirement down the line. So my exit strategy, in building an online business, is to generate a crap ton of money. I called my grandma the other day. We're furniture shopping right now. And my grandmother calls me while we're out at RH Restoration Hardware. And she's like, "What are you doing, baby?" I'm like, "Mom, looking at furniture." And I didn't want to tell her where I was at, because I know she was about to go down this whole path about money. But she was like, "Well, where are you at?" I said, "I'm at RH." She's like, "What the heck is RH?" I'm like, "Restoration Hardware." It's kind of a fancy furniture store. And my grandma like, "Oh, y'all got plenty money. Y'all got plenty money." And they're buying couches. She's like, "How much are them couches? $5,000, $6,000? Y'all got plenty money." So I'm trying to have plenty money in my lifetime, right? Plenty of money. But I think that really is the exit strategy for many of us online, virtual based business owners. The goal is for you is to generate a ton of cash flow where you're able to cover your business expenses at a healthy rate, where you're able to have healthy cash flow so you can continue to grow the business. But the goal is to have a healthy amount of profit so you can not only just pay yourself, but also reinvest that profit into, whether it's real estate, whether it's investing in a fund, whether it's, stock, whether it's whatever. And that investment is what you use to generate your wealth. So really the business now becomes a vehicle or a mechanism. It's really a stepping stool to generate your wealth. The business itself isn't the wealth. The business is really for you to create the profit. So you have now cash flow to invest, and that investment that you put your money into, that now becomes your wealth generation. Does that make sense? And this is something that my brain was not even thinking about 3 years ago when I started this business. My goal back then, so I really think too, and this is one of the episodes on the podcast, one of the earlier episodes, is understanding what season of business that you're in. When you get to multiple 6 figures, you are at a point where I think you need to make a conscious decision in regards to what type of business are you building. But you need to really make sure that you're implementing a strategy that makes sense based off the season of business that you're in. But I'm just giving y'all some insight on where I'm at right now, because it's a little stressful. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little stressed out. But taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, woosah and kumbaya. So that's where I'm at now, right? How can we generate more profit so I have more money to invest, and those investments now become my wealth generation tools, right? The business now is really a vehicle to be able to fund that. And one thing I'm realizing is that, again, what got me here won't get me there. And if I want to be the business owner that's generating multiple 7 figures a year, like my goal is to be able to help 1,000 individuals, women and people of color, make $1 million. So if I want to be a business that helps 1,000 people generate $1 million, I have to operate differently. My team has to operate differently. We have to be committed. Like, our identity has to change. And I think that's important for you to think about is, what is your identity at this stage in your business? And does the identity that you possess, the mindset that you have, match where it is that you want to go? Because I think a lot of the time we try to separate personal from business and treat them like they're two completely different entities, when in actuality, if your personal goals are not aligned and your personal identity is not aligned with your business goals and your business objectives, you will have incongruency. And that incongruency will cause you to procrastinate. The incongruency will cause you to slow down. The incongruency will cause you to not have the speed and the momentum that's possible for you. So one thing that I've really been taking the time to think through is, who do I believe that I am right now? And a lot of the time, there's, if you guys are familiar with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, it's really a large part of what I'm talking about today is really rooted in that. And it's really about this whole concept of be, do, have. A lot of the time we think we have to have something first. Like we have to have the money before we can go do the thing, before we can become that person. And it's really the complete opposite. You need to be that person first before you go do the thing, before you obtain whatever it is that you want to obtain. And I've been thinking a lot about, who do I need to be? Like, what does the $1 million a month Jerisha Hawk business look like? What does the 8-figure business owner, how does that woman operate? How does that woman make decisions? How does that woman handle challenges and respond to hurdles? Like, how does that individual respond and behave and make decisions and plan? And like, who is that person? So much of what we want is rooted in our identity. And if your identity does not align with what your goals and objectives are, you will never achieve those goals and objectives. So this is what I've been working through. And I think why I've been feeling so much friction and tension. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna keep it 100 today, okay? Yes, Jim Fortin's podcast. I know somebody just mentioned that. You can go listen to Jim Fortin, JimFortin, and go listen to his podcast. Jim Fortin is the first individual that introduced me to the concept of be, do, have. I was at an event and I heard this man speak, and it completely changed my perspective. But he has an amazing podcast. There's like 17 or 18 episodes. Start with episode 1 and just kind of work your way through. I know one of you guys who are listening right now mentioned that. So yes, Jim Fortin is amazing at this, and he has great content around it. But I've been really thinking about that. And the past week or so, I've been feeling a lot of internal friction. Like, I've been having a lot of anxiety. Like, this is the thing that's been keeping me up at night, because I realized probably about a month and a half ago that what got me to 6 figures is not going to be the same. I'm not going to be the same person. My identity is going to change. The decisions I make have to look different. My business model is going to evolve. How I lead inside my business is going to change. Like, who I am fundamentally is going to evolve in order for me to get to 7 figures. So I started, a year ago, 3 years ago, I would not be doing what I'm doing now, but I made investments. I joined a coaching program for myself to be in. I made sure to invest in a mastermind. Probably in the next 12 months, just in personal development, I'll spend over $50,000, which is like part of me wants to say that's insane to say, because I've never invested that much in my personal development before. Like, this is like a college degree. But I realize that one thing that you need to realize too is that as you grow in your business, the mistakes you make become more costly. So you're actually doing yourself and your business a disservice. You are putting yourself at risk of losing time, energy, and money as your business continues to grow, because the mistakes you make the stakes get higher. And if it's dumb. I don't want to say it's dumb, but it's almost dumb for me not to invest in the tools and the development that I need to set myself up for success. And it's very similar to if you're in the corporate world and you want to become a director or a vice president, like people go back and get their executive MBA, or they go back to grad school. They're not, they are investing in their personal development to set them up for success. You have to look at your business the same way. Like I always say, you need to be building your own curriculum for your business, for you to become a better CEO. You need to have your own personal development curriculum, whether you're enrolling in courses, group coaching programs, masterminds, and again, like I always say, the transformation happens after the transaction. So there needs to be some sort of transactional exchange that is taking place for you to make sure that you're fully committed in doing the work and going to show up and be committed to doing implementing the process. But that's kind of where I'm at. And I've been feeling all this friction because I'm looking around my surroundings and I'm like, I'm seeing how other people are making decisions and it's just impacting me negatively. And I realize that my my current state of being is challenging my old identity. Like who I was a year ago, I can't keep being that woman. And I'm realizing that in order for me to get to 7 figures, I have to start acting like the millionaire now. Before I have the money, I have to start making decisions like the millionaire would make decisions. I have to take the risk that the millionaire would take. I need to invest in the development that's needed for my identity to evolve to millionaire status before my bank account matches that. I hope this is resonating. And my question, my call to action for you is, what are you committed to, right? Because if you, like I said before, if your personal identity does not align with the results that you want to achieve, you will never obtain them. So like, let's say, working out is a great example. Working out is a fantastic example. If you make the goal saying that I want to work out 3 times a week, I want to lose 10 pounds, but your identity is not of somebody who works out and is healthy, you may like start off okay, but you're not going to sustain it. So you have to start to think not just about what goal. So I want you guys right now, we're going to do this as a live thing. So if you're watching this live and interacting with this live, put this in the comments. If you're listening to this on replay or listening to this on the podcast, I want you to pull this out in your journal and do this with yourself. But I want you guys to tell me right now, what are one of the goals that I'm talking about, a big audacious goal that you have set for yourself for this year? Put it in the comments and share with me. What are one of your big audacious goals? Like one of those, the goal that kind of scares you a bit, right? Put that in the comments. And we're gonna do this exercise together right now in live practice, because this is something that in order for you to obtain what you want, you have, it's so much of it is based on the mental work, the mindset, who you are, who you're being, what your identity is, that will really allow you to position yourself to achieve what you want. So share with me in the comments, or write this in your journal, or write this on a piece of paper or whatever. What is a goal that you want that kind of scares you? Like what's one of the scary goals that you have right now? I know for me, one of my scary goals is, it feels like, I shouldn't say it feels scary, but like I want to make $1 million this year. And I want to make $1 million this year. I want to cross the 7-figure mark. And saying that for me makes me a little nervous, because 97% of business owners never make $1 million. So I'm trying to be in that 3%, y'all. Okay. Somebody said to serve 100 people this year, to make $10,000 a month. What are some other goals I see in here? To leave my full-time job. So somebody said, I want to stay on the court dockets and apply my experience to my LLC. To book 4 $15,000 clients before the year is over. I mean, get specific with your goal, guys, okay? This needs to be measurable, something that you can know that I have attained this. Somebody said, I want to make $8,000 a month. Okay, so you guys have your goal in mind. So that's what you want to do. That's what you want to have. So let's work this in reverse. Who do you need to be in order to attain that goal? Who do you need to be to make $8,000 a month? Who do you need to be to make $10,000 a month? Who do you need to be to book $15,000 clients? Who do you need to be? Identity. What do your habits need to look like? What does your commitment level need to look like? What does your personal behaviors need to look like? What do your actions need to look like? Who do you need to become? What does the identity of the person who think of yourself as you're already that person. You're already the person that's already quit their job full time. You're already the person making $8,000 or $10,000 a month. You're already the person booking $15,000 clients consistently. You're already that person. Tell me, I want you to start to write down, what are the characteristic traits of that individual? What characteristic traits do they have? What beliefs do they embody? What type of mindset do they operate under? How does that person make decisions? How does that person go about their day? How does that person manage their time? How does that person exercise self-integrity? You guys get what I'm doing? And I literally have been literally in my journal working on this myself personally, because I'm realizing why my experience, either why are you not getting the results that you want? It's a lot of the time is because you're not being that person. You're not embodying the identity of the person who has those things. Right? So I know somebody I saw in my Facebook group earlier today said, hey guys, I need some support. I want to start converting high ticket clients consistently, but I don't want to enroll in a course. And something in my mind triggered. I'm like, is this person more fixated or concerned about the like when you set the goal? I think a lot of the time you have to detach yourself from how you get there. You have to detach yourself from how you get there. Because if you already knew what you needed to do in order for you to obtain the goal, if you already knew everything, you'd already have it. So if you're the individual that says, I want to make $10,000 a month, but I don't want to enroll in a course. But what if there's a course out there that will teach you everything you need to obtain that goal? Like, who cares how the content is delivered, as long as whatever you implement will actually get you to the result that you want. So a lot of the time we have to be clear on what destination we want to get to, but we have to kind of almost detach from the process, the way in which we choose to get there. Like, imagine if you put something in your GPS navigation system and you're like, well, I only want to go down this one way. I only want to drive down this one road to get to that destination. And what if Siri was like, no, you got to make a left here. There's some construction here. I need you to make a right here, and then you'll get there. You're like, well, I don't want to do all that. Like, who cares what you have to do to get there? Are you more fixated on attaining the result, or are you more married to how you get there based off of what your current perception is of what's required to get there? But if your current perception was already accurate, you'd already be doing that and you'd already have the result. So a lot of the time we have to give ourselves permission to detach from what our current beliefs are and how we're able to obtain a specific goal, and be open to the abundant routes, and be open to going down a different path, but still just remain committed to the destination, remain committed to the goal. Like, I hope this is resonating. This is just stuff that I'm working through mentally right now. So hopefully it'll land on somebody. But is this connecting with you? Like I said, if you guys have any specific questions about what I'm talking about, or if you want to talk through your specific thing, let me know, and we can just pop that in the comments, and we can get this a bit more specific. But that's really what I'm working on, is kind of a takeaway for you to really process this internally, whether in the comments or in your journal, is what are you committed to? That thing that you said that you want to have, that is the thing that you are committed to. But I need you to kind of reverse it and get back to what your identity is. Who do you need to become in order to have that thing? Not, I have to wait till I have that thing before I become the person. No, you have to become the person before you obtain whatever it is that you desire to achieve. And then you just have to make a declaration today. Like, every morning when you wake up, I want you to look at that thing. I want you to look at what you're committed to. And I want you to look at the list of who is the type of person. What is the identity of the person that already has this thing? And every single morning, look at that list and say, okay, am I choosing today to be this person? Am I choosing today to embody this identity? And I want you, then you can make a choice every single morning before you start your day to commit to who you're going to be, right? The person who makes $1 million invests in their development. The person who makes $1 million a year doesn't get caught up on, oh, I got to buy this program or invest in this tool. Like, those tools, it's an investment, not a cost. Money now becomes a resource. Money now is cash flow. It's supposed to move. If you putting money in your business or putting money into the machine that generates revenue, if you putting money in will produce more than, produce what you put in, double, triple, whatever, you make the investment. The person who's already a millionaire plays the long-term game, doesn't get fixated on short-term results. We are committed to long-term success, right? So I want you to get clear on what are you committed to? What is that goal that you want to obtain? $8,000. I know you guys have been sharing that in the comments, but write that down. And then I want you to get very clear on what is the identity. Who is that type of person who's already living that life, who already has that thing? And then one thing you can do is write down what is your identity now, and get real honest with yourself. Do you let fear dictate how you make decisions? That was a tight one. Is fearful Franny nagging in the back seat saying, girl, you can't invest in that. Girl, you ain't worth that. Girl, you dreaming too big. I need you to be more realistic. It's fearful Franny dictating and being the loud voice that's choosing how you make decisions in your life, choosing how you make decisions in your day. When you wake up in the morning and you said that I'm committed to going to the gym, but what's another name that starts with an F? Francine, all caught up in her feelings. Well, I don't feel like it today. Stay in bed. I don't feel like it today. I don't feel like it. It's going to be tough. My body's already sore. Go easy. You know, Francine holding you back from being great. Because it's not about what you feel. It's not about the fear. The fear is not real. You acknowledge the fear, but then you choose to make a conscious decision based off the thing that is going to serve the person that you are becoming, serve the future version of yourself. But you have to choose to be committed to the identity of the person that already has everything that you desire to experience. You have to be that identity and be that person today. So get clear on what is your identity right now, and how does your identity today differ from the identity of the person that you want to become, and start making those changes. Every day, just choose what you're going to be committed to. Are you committed to the person you are today, in the state of life that you are today? Or are you committed to the identity of the person that you want to become? And now it's just a choice. So I'm going to answer some of your guys' questions, okay? So if you guys have them, feel free to pop them in the comments. I see a couple already in here. So this one is Portia. She said, how do you erase the bad decisions or the bad mindset that you accidentally adopted? What should someone like that mentality practice? Portia, this is such a good question. One thing is, you can't erase the bad decisions or the bad mindset. Like, you can't erase the bad decision that you've already made. I think one thing for you, that specifically, is if you feel this conviction or feel this negativity or heaviness about decisions you've made in the past that you aren't really proud of, I would actually journal that extra. Like, I would do a journaling exercise where I would write down, what are the decisions that I made that didn't serve me? What were the decisions that I've made in the past that I'm making today that are not aligned with the level of integrity or the level of excellence that I want to be committed to? And I want you just to get clear on what those decisions are. And one, I want you to give yourself some grace, because you're human, and like, you're evolving and you're growing, and we've all made choices and made decisions that may have been serving us comfortable, but weren't serving our growth, and that is okay. But I would do a journaling exercise so you can actually pin down, when do you tend to make those decisions? So then now you're aware of what those decisions are. Maybe it's like investing in yourself. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. I know for me, those decisions I used to be very hesitant on, like investing in resources, because I grew up so independent that I'm like, it's just me out here. I got to do it on my own. That when I got into my business, it was very difficult for me to invest in people and to help me, to not only accept their help, but to pay for them to help. That was something that I always struggled with. So I would do that as a journaling exercise. And as far as bad mindset, one thing all of us have to realize, that we've all been conditioned our entire lives. And this is something that we talk about in depth, actually, is specifically around money inside of services that sell, because your money mindset will have a huge impact on your ability to charge high ticket offers and for you to make more money, because of your current beliefs and your current money stories that you have. So this is something that we actually work through specifically around money inside of services that sell inside of module 2 when we come to pricing, because it's really hard to price your services when there's issues with your deservedness level and what you think you're worth and what you think you're valued. It's really difficult to set higher price points when you haven't worked through those things. But that's the first exercise I would recommend that you do. But also realize that everything that you've learned, you now have the opportunity to unlearn. And you can, so much of growing in life and in business is unlearning and unbecoming everything that you currently now are. So much of it is just learning and unbecoming. So one thing I would also recommend for you as a filter is, when you start to feel friction and stuff starts to feel crazy uncomfortable, lean in. That is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. That is a direct sign that you are in a position for progress and growth. So a lot of the time when you've made a decision to say, this is who my old identity was, and this is who my identity is that I want to become, and you start making decisions and taking action based off of who this new identity is, your old identity will be fighting back, because your brain is literally wired and designed to keep you safe. And our brain defines safety as what our status quo is, what our norm is. This is why women who get into abusive relationships stay in abusive relationships. They're conscious and aware that this is not healthy for them, but it's their norm. It's their status quo. So their brain is default saying that I operate good in this chaos because it can anticipate what is going to happen. When you start operating in your new identity and making decisions and making choices and taking action based off this new person that you're becoming, your brain will freak out a little bit, saying like, wait a minute, this isn't our normal routine. I can't predict what the outcome is going to be. I don't know if this is safe for us. So you have to make sure that you are able to identify when that is happening and tell yourself that we are safe. We are not in harm. We're just doing something different and we are evolving. This friction, this fear, this tension, this doubt is just growth. Keep moving. So that is something that I highly recommend when individuals enroll. Like, let's say I know our program services that sell. When people enroll in our program, sometimes that's the most money they've ever invested in themselves before. Our program's a $2,000 offer. And people will enroll, and then within like 3 days, you're like, I don't know if I should have did this. And it's like, well, let's get back to why did you join? Well, I want to enroll high ticket clients. Okay. I want to be able to do that consistently. Okay. I want to follow a proven methodology. You're safe. It's just a new decision. You're exercising a new muscle. So that doubt is just your current state saying like, wait a minute, I don't know. This isn't what you normally do. Are we okay here? You're safe. You're okay. So and I would say anticipate that when you're starting to rewrite these mindset and rewrite these behaviors, is anticipate the friction. Do not expect the friction or the fear or that uncomfortableness will go away. It will over time, but it's normal in the beginning. And she said, what would someone like that mentally practice? So I think everything I just said kind of sums up what I would recommend for you. That was a really great question. Okay. I want to see if there's any other questions that you guys had about this, because I just think this is really, really important. This is things that I'm personally working through right now. And it's tough. Like that personal work, that self-work, it is actual work. It is work. And it is space that you need to give yourself, you know, like if you want to change and you want to grow, once you realize this is just what's required, it's not about, oh, this is what's possible. No. This is what's required. Whatever you've already thought of, the vision you already have is already obtainable. And I really like, from a faith perspective, from a God perspective, I do not believe that God would give you a vision of something that is heavy on your heart as a desire if he did not already give you the provision to have it. I just don't believe it. I don't think it's by coincidence that God gave you the unique vision that he gave you to introduce whatever thought or vision or idea to this world. Like, I don't think that was by accident. And I really believe that every vision that you have, every desire that you want to obtain, every goal that's in your mind that's clear, that keeps beating at the door, I don't believe that he would give you the vision if he wouldn't also give you everything that you would need to obtain it. But the way that God works is that when we have to ask, we have to allow him in. God will stand at the entryway of the door, but we have to open the door and invite him in. We have to ask God for the thing that we desire. That's step one, because the kind of the dope thing about God is he gives us free will. He gives us free will. He does not impose himself on us. He gives us free will to exercise. So one thing is, I think that's why it's so important to write down your goals and get crystal clear about what it is that you desire. Don't say, I want to start a business. Don't say, I want to just launch a new program. Like, I want you to get granular. I want you to get specific about what your desires are, right? And when you claim that and you say, God, this is what you've put on my heart's desire. One, help me make sure, speak to me in a way that I can understand and make sure that my desires are aligned with what your desires are for me. I always ask for permission before I pursue, always. And I always ask God to speak to me in a way that I can understand. Because sometimes he might be talking, but I may not be receiving it. So God, speaks to me in a way that I can understand. You've given me this idea. You've given me this vision. Help me make sure that you also make it clear to me who my help is. Make it clear to me what steps I'm supposed to take. But you have to invite God in. But once you invite God in, get ready. Get ready, because he's going to allow you to exercise it. He's going to allow you and give you everything you need to bring that to fruition. But a large reason why we don't achieve the goals that we want, or if you've been sitting on a goal or sitting on a vision or sitting on an idea for the longest, it might be because your current identity does not align with who you need to become in order to obtain the thing that he has for you. Your identity has to evolve. How you view yourself, like those things you say, oh, I'm an introvert, I can't get on live stream. That is an identity choice. You may be an introvert, but that does not mean that you can't be excellent on video, right? You have to challenge your belief system. Oh, I always just have enough money. That is an identity. You need to start rewriting your mindset to say that I have, like my grandma said, I got plenty money. I got plenty money. You got plenty money, girl. Okay, you got plenty money. Homeboy in the back, you got plenty money. You always have an abundance of cash flow. You always have more than what you need. Like that is an identity that you have to change. So we have to start to work through that. I thought I saw one more question come in. Let me see. I thought I saw a question. Am I tripping? Did I see a question? I have time to answer like one more question before I go. Because see, my new identity is somebody who works out 3 times a week. That is an identity of my millionaire status. Do I feel like going to CrossFit? No, I don't. No, I do not. But guess what? My identity is the individual. I know that working out is healthy for me. I know that I feel amazing after I work out. That soreness and that pain that I feel just means that my body is alive. I want to feel alive today. No, I don't feel like going. But it's not about what I feel like. I'm trying to serve the woman that I'm becoming. I'm trying to be snatched up, looking like a whole snack on my wedding day. I want my husband on my wedding day not to know who he marrying. He like, hold up. Who that? Baby boo, this the new me. Okay? It's not even the new me. This is the woman I've always been called to be. I'm just fully now stepping into who she is. All right? Okay. Jasmine said, how do you push past imposter syndrome when you're finally seeing success? I think a lot of that incorporates what I've already talked about today. And there is a podcast episode on my podcast, Risha said, where we talk about imposter syndrome. So I'd actually recommend going and listening to that and then slide in my DMs if you have more questions after you listen to that episode. Then I'll answer this question here. So this is from K Page Management. When you're struggling with personal development and in your business, how do you cater to both aspects while successfully growing in both areas? I think you have to realize that 1 and 2 are the same, right? When I enroll in a business program, that's also me working on my personal development. Because one thing that you have to realize, and in business, your brain is your biggest asset. Your brain, your mindset, what's in here is the number, like you are the most important person in your business. I don't care what anybody says. You are. Because if you're the visionary of your business or whatever function that you play in this stage, I mean, for anybody making less than like $250,000 a year, probably even more money than that, but especially for those of us who are making less than $250,000 a year, you are the most important person in your business because you are the one making all of the critical decisions right now for how your business is going to operate, what decisions you're going to make, what you're going to do to grow and evolve in your business. Your mind is the most important asset. So anything that you do to invest in the development of your mind, whether it's you taking the time to read a book, and not just read the book to gain the knowledge, because I think knowledge is just one piece of the puzzle. Whether you enroll in the course, enroll in the coaching program, buy the book, read the book, go through the modules, whatever, that is just one key part. Gaining the knowledge is important, but knowledge is only power if it is applied, right? And your ability to gain the knowledge is part of the mindset part, it's part of your brain, but your ability to apply the knowledge that you have now learned is also, it's like your mind in regards to being able to intake new information and your ability, your mindset for you to make the decision every day to implement and execute and apply what you've learned. So I think, and let me know if I'm not answering your question in the way that you intended, but when I'm hearing when you're struggling with personal development and in your business, how do you cater to both aspects? Like, I think that they're one and the same. Because as a business owner, I look at myself, like you are a business, you individually, K-Page Management, like me, Jerisha Hawk, I am a business. So whatever I have to do to make sure that I'm performing my best is part of my development. So me taking time out of my week to go get my nails done so I can unplug is part of my development. Me going to the spa once a quarter is part of my development. Me investing in the event or investing in the coach or investing in the curriculum is part of my development. I think both are one and two. Like I think they're one and the same. Did that answer your question? Because I want to make sure that I actually I'm addressing that correctly. But I think they're one and the same. So I think that you need to start looking at yourself as a holistic being, and that your identity is not wrapped in what you do, but your identity does dictate and determine how effectively you do all the things that you do. So I think I believe they're one and the same. I don't really like to separate them out, because so much of what I learned talking to my fiance, or when I hang out with my little cousins, or when I'm watching a Netflix show, like even watching Game of Thrones last night, the ending was just terrible. Like it was so anticlimactic. But like even as I'm watching Netflix, those things will spark ideas. Like that downtime will spark my creativity for something new in my own business. Like I think it's one and the same. But I hope this was helpful for you guys. Feel free to share this live stream. Oh, for those, please take a screenshot and tag me on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. Tag me in your IG stories. Tag me on Facebook. Let me get ready so you guys can take a good picture. Okay. Okay, other side. The phone dropped. Okay, capture that screenshot. Tag me on wherever you are. And tell me what your top takeaways are. Because this is really, really, really important. This mindset stuff, I don't want to call it stuff. This mindset work is imperative to your success. So I wish you well. Be fantastic today. Be committed to the identity of the person that you need to become so you can have everything that you desire to have. I'm about to go be that person and go get my workout gear on and go to CrossFit. So I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.